This whole project has been insane. Honestly, I must really be an alcoholic to take on something like this. I mean, no sane editor would attach their name to a project with no real cinematographers. Just a bunch of addicts learning how to tell a story. But that's exactly why I said yes. Because this isn't just a project to me. It's my recovery in motion. Taking what was meant for destruction and shaping it into something beautiful. Taking chaos and finding order. Taking broken stories and giving them purpose. There were countless moments across these 90 episodes where I wanted to walk away. Where it felt overwhelming, impossible. But I stayed. Just like I stayed sober. Because I believe this will reach someone who feels exactly the way I once did. Lost, stuck, unsure if change is even possible. And if I'm honest, the idea of helping someone who struggles like I do used to make me nervous. What if I say the wrong thing? What if I'm not strong enough yet? What if their story pulls me backwards instead of pushing me forwards? But then I started realizing something. I don't have to have all the answers. I just have to be willing to show up. Because sometimes the most powerful thing you can say to another human being is, I've been where you are, and you don't have to walk this alone. Helping someone else doesn't weaken my recovery, it strengthens it. It reminds me where I came from. It keeps my gratitude honest. It keeps my purpose bigger than my fear. And that's what people mean when they say, you have to give it away to keep it. You don't lose what you share. You deepen it. You protect it. You make it real. So if this helps even one person keep going, then every late night, every struggle, and every frame was worth it.
Montana Society!
This is what I've found in life, in helping people to live, grow psychologically, spiritually.
All right, since you're not forced to sit across the table from me at an RV park in South Dakota somewhere, I thought I would bring this to you in a very succinct way that may translate better on video. My man Andrew's on the ones and twos back here, and let's get into it. Imagine, if you will, there is you, the real you that exists. Some might call this their higher self, their true self, their divine self. And this thing exists and expresses radiant energy of love, tolerance, acceptance, peace, joy. Now, as life goes on, as it normally does for all of us, things happen. These can be small events. And remember, trauma is not what happened to you, it's what happened inside of you as a result of what happened to you. So maybe your dad and mom fight. So you build a little container, and what that container is to make you feel safe. And maybe your dad yells at you and you build another container. And so forth and so on. And some of us have really tragic, sad things that happen. And as a result, we build these containers. And these containers are protection mechanisms. And they work. They work for a while. But eventually they start to cause more problems than they help alleviate. And so we find ourselves in this space where we want change, but the real us is layers deep inside of all of these containers. And so usually something very drastic has to happen. Some might call that hitting the bottom. Some might call that just coming to a moment of realization, a white light moment, a moment of clarity. And what that is it creates a crack. And that crack cuts through all of these containers. And for a moment, we find that we have this deeper sense of truth, a deeper sense of reality, a deeper sense of who and what we are and how we fit in the world. Now, tragic things happen, and that's what creates the containers, but then tragic things happen, and that's what creates the cracks. But that doesn't have to always be the case. There are methods, proven, evidence-based methods that teach us how to begin to open up and create new pathways, past all these cracks, past this ego container build, so that the light of the Spirit, so to speak, can reach into our true self down here in the center. Now for some of us, that might be the steps. For some of us, it might be a really close friend that talks to us deeply and is patient and listens to us. For some of us, it's getting arrested and having a moment of clarity and truth. For some of us, it's finding that we cannot do this on our own. And all these things create cracks, and this ego containers that we've built are no longer helpful, they're no longer useful. And as we continue on the path and we continue to do things, we find that these containers are no longer useful. And the more that we begin to radiate this inner God energy out through these cracks, that reverberates to somebody else who's sitting with all of their containers. And when they're in that moment of cracked, that light energy gets into them. And that's how change occurs. So if all the containers aren't gone and you're still struggling, and maybe you're not committing crimes, and maybe you're not lying and cheating and stealing anymore, but life still has a hardness to it, don't worry. It's okay. The containers are getting broken away, the ego is slipping away, and the more that you can learn to express honesty, vulnerability, truth, light, and love to others and put yourself in the position to do that, the more that these containers will crack and more light can get in for you as well.
The whole experience was really, it was all therapeutic from the beginning, because on one angle you have a person that's really trying to get so many people from point A to point B, and that distance is significant, okay? And we're doing it in a way, it could have been done a lot easier, but the idea of doing it the way we did it was because we wanted to put a therapeutic value in the experience. So traveling on a timeline, being together, trying to keep like a team aspect to this whole process was extremely therapeutic, meaning, you know, people were tested, people were outside of their element, myself included. I've never traveled this far, you know, in an RV, camping and getting to a place that I have no past experience with the flatlands, as beautiful as it is, that long of a distant trip, you know, being crammed up with everybody and everybody trying to, like, you know, get through it. It was intense, extremely intense for everybody involved. And, you know, some of the people that came with us are in, I would consider, really early recovery. You know, they're just trying to get it together now, and they've been given a beautiful opportunity, right? Who would not want to go see, you know, the most scenic ride I've ever taken in my life, and they knew that was happening. They're experiencing something that they never had experienced before, and it's like it's easily could be looked at as an opportunity of a lifetime, and that's understood. But at the same time, going through it is really, it's a process.
So, like, if we get to Montana, the bunker, right? But we crash the car, and we have to walk, and we hitchhike, and we do meth, and we with when we get to Montana, but we're like methed out, HIV positive, and drip, right? We still got to Montana, but it's like, damn, dude, it didn't have to go down like that.
Oh God, I see what you're saying.
Like, you could have had positive and
while here,
on the road to Montana.
Yeah.
The
been a way better experience.
Yeah, everyone could have had a much better time. And everyone you came in contact with, right? Like instead of those hookers, you could have like loved on them and hooked them up with a shelter, or got them away from the pimp or something.
Hi, my name is Christian. I'm the executive director of Most High Ministries and also the producer for the Montana Society Project and Initiative. Yeah, I remember all the crazy circumstances that led to showing up here in 2019. And Dean sponsored one of my really good friends, and he had been trying to connect us because he knew we had this nonprofit, and he knew it might align with Dean, and then we had this opportunity to do this filming in Dog Island, and at Dog Island, he had this project, and so I just fly in here with knowing very little. The bunker was like still completely covered in dirt, and my son would slide down the dirt hill, that's all, because he didn't have nothing to do. He was still a little kid. It was just a very transformative trip. We went horseback riding.
It's like a cow, Luke.
It is definitely not a cow. We went to Yellowstone. We bathed in the Yellowstone River. It's cold as a witch's titty, but it's like amazing. And then I came back here for a film festival. It was during October, and it was just me and Dean, and we had this great bonding experience. We hung out, we showed our film amongst a bunch of other Montana films. And that's when Dean kind of made the decision, like, okay, I'm gonna put some money behind this, I'm gonna put some energy behind this. Like, let's make this something. The fact that they built it with a giant meditation room, they were tapped into something. So there's some kind of God consciousness and God conscious energy that went into the initial build of this place. And over the last 6 years, we've been just bringing people to it, and they leave changed. Some of us leave and continue to bang our head against the wall. Some of us leave but I think everybody leaves and is changed.
I never thought ruins like me could wake up. But here I stand, battered, rebuilt, and alive. That's an awakening.
Drifting, baby.
Shit.
Battery must have come unhooked. This got to be on.
Dog.
Okay,
Turn the key.
go ahead.
That's a big rock, too.
Well, I'm trying to get the car ready. The Mercedes, old Mercedes, mock Mercedes down there, and the battery. We had to get a new battery, and then the cable broke. And then digging through the stuff back there, look at that, a solid gold brass or gold colored new battery cable clamp. So still, after all these years, still finding this stuff. The bunker will provide, baby.
Bunker finds.
Bunker finds. I saw this once on Mission Impossible, or my dad did it, one or the other. So
Same effect.
it's a screw right here, and you take that in the hole, like that, And then you drop it like that, and then you go, "Mom," and you yell and stuff. That's what he did. And then
Tom Cruise or your dad?
both of them. I got a little start down there going on. We're adding some pressure into the battery. To try to make it work. So I jammed it in there, pull the other side against it. And then we're gonna see if I call it the Tom Cranderson. Tom Cruise and my father, Bob Anderson, both did something similar to that. But it's a furniture screw from a broken down couch that we saved. And we just used it on the battery of the car. So let's see. Why is it not starting?
It might have to be with that furniture screw that you stuck in there. I don't know.
I think that has to do with the proximity of the gestation.
I just ingested that, whatever you sprayed in there. Man, what a cool car. Hard to believe not too long ago, this thing was rusting in someone's barn. All the hard work and determination that was put into this thing to get it running so that it could be a part of the July 4th parade is a testament that hard work pays off. Ain't that right, Reed?
God damn
Son
it.
of a...
It ain't gonna make it.
Montana Society!